So here's some good news for you if you're a small business owner. As of last month, Visa and MasterCard will start charging less merchant fees to small Canadian businesses, and get this, has the potential to save small businesses in Canada up to 27% in credit card fees. I mean, this was heavily advertised by the Trudeau administration as a step to help small Canadian businesses, and it helped Trudeau's rating.
What?
I mean, of course it didn't. It received a lot of backlash. With the top comment stating, why not just reduce taxes for small businesses? Come on, you and I know that's never gonna happen. The Canadian government needs to charge high taxes to improve Canadian infrastructure. I mean, look how beautiful our cities are. Sorry, I believe that's actually China, not Canada. Funny how our media portrays China in a negative light, yet their cities look futuristic compared to ours. But how did the government manage to reduce the credit card fees charged to small businesses by 27%? Well, a couple things. First of all, they're reducing domestic customer credit interchange fees for in-store transactions to an average of 0.95%. I believe I read somewhere that it was about 1.26% in the past for Visa and MasterCard, so this is a decent drop in fees. Reduce online transaction interchange fees for domestic consumers by 100 basis points, so about 7%. So if you buy something online from a small business, the credit card charge to the merchant will be 7% less, or around that ballpark. Provide free access to online fraud and cybersecurity resources, which would help small businesses that couldn't afford cybersecurity in the past. And because 98% of the Canadian businesses are small businesses that employ about 50% of the Canadian workforce, this cost-cutting procedure is supposed to stabilize the Canadian economy by reducing costs for small businesses. So what does this mean for consumers like ourselves? I mean, we all go to restaurants from time to time. In fact, I order takeout quite often because I hate to pay for tips, and for takeout, I don't tip. Am I an asshole? Personally, I also get a lot of my groceries from the local grocery store. So is the new credit card policy for small businesses going to affect this? First of all, one thing's for sure, it's not going to reduce the cost of our purchases. While this new policy might reduce the cost for small businesses by up to 0.5%, but because the cost of everything is going up, most likely small businesses would just pocket the lowered cost as extra profit, which is understandable, because I mean, you want the small businesses in Canada to succeed. But as a consumer that uses credit cards to pay for everything, what does this mean? Because let's be honest, a majority of a credit card company's revenue is charging a merchant fee, so reducing that fee means a reduction in revenue. Even though a majority of a credit card company's revenue comes from interest from unpaid credit card balances, I mean, I couldn't find a graph representing Canada, but in the US, a third of a credit card company's revenue comes from merchant fees. You cut that by 27%, I mean, it's probably not going to be anywhere close to 27% because that rate reduction only applies to small businesses and not medium to large size companies. I mean, you're still talking about maybe a 3 to 5% hit in revenue for Visa and MasterCard. And listen, Visa and MasterCard are big corporations. That's not gonna fly. So they're gonna have to make up that revenue in other ways, like increasing interest rates for unpaid balances. Most Canadians aren't even looking at the interest rates the credit card companies are charging them for carrying a balance month over month. They can also reduce the rewards for using your credit card. For example, a credit card that used to offer 4% cashback for groceries might now only offer 3.5%. We haven't seen any major nerfs for the most popular credit cards in Canada, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in the next couple months. The credit card companies might also slightly increase the annual fee for their credit cards. Essentially, this decrease in merchant fees that the credit card companies are charging small businesses will mean that the credit card companies will need to find revenue in other ways, which means reducing benefits for the credit card users. So reducing rewards, increasing interest rates for the credit cards, and increasing annual fees for the credit cards are the most possible outcomes. Now, I did see that this negotiation is only with MasterCard and Visa and not with American Express, which is notoriously known to charge the highest merchant fees. That's why many small businesses don't work with them, which is weird. I don't know why Trudeau didn't negotiate with American Express. And I think this new policy actually helps out American Express because if MasterCard and Visa are forced to reduce their card's benefits to maintain profitability, American Express can also reduce their card's benefits as well because they don't need to offer high incentives to capture new customers. So yes, this new negotiation between the Trudeau administration and Visa and MasterCard would definitely slightly help small businesses. I mean, it does slightly reduce the cost. But for the average consumer like you and I that uses a credit card to pay, it's most likely going to affect us negatively because the average price is most likely going to be the same while the credit card benefits are going to drop. So does that mean that we should get rid of credit cards? Well, no. I'm a firm believer of credit cards. They're a great source for getting rewards for your purchases and building credit if you're responsible with your spendings. Just don't overspend like I do. Anyways, like and follow if you enjoyed this video and check out my shorts for financial comedy. And with that said, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.